Okay. Good morning, everyone. We have to start from line 104. So Prospero says, as we remember that Prospero was narrating the story of his past and Miranda's past also to her. Miranda was completely unaware. She had forgotten everything because she was too young at that time. She was just approximately 3 years old when they were thrown out of Milan. So let's see what Prospero says further. I pray thee, mark me. So Prospero thought that Miranda is not very much attentive to his story, and so he says that mark me. Mark me means pay attention to what I am saying. Mark me. I thus neglecting worldly ends, all dedicated to closeness and the bettering of my mind. So I neglected all my worldly affairs. I neglected all my worldly responsibilities, the things which I should have taken care of. I told you this was one of the flaws of Prospero, right? That he didn't pay any heed to the kingdom, to his dukedom, right? He completely neglected. He entrusted everything to his brother, right? He should have been more careful, more vigilant. Right? Even if he has entrusted everything to his brother, he should have at least tried to find out what he is doing, what his brother is doing, whether he's taking care of the affairs of the state properly or not. But he didn't do that. He secluded himself from everything, retired to his study. So to closeness and the bettering of my mind. So he just was concerned with the betterment of his mind. That means bettering of my mind means studies. He completely concentrated on his studies. So self improvement, right? In improving himself. To closeness and the bettering of my mind, with that wit, but by being so retired, overpriced all popular rate. In my false brother, awakened an evil nature. So what happened? He overpriced all popular rate. He thought himself to be more capable. Antonio started thinking himself to be more capable than Prospero. And if he'll think himself to be a more capable duke, then he will think Prospero to be useless. Right? And in my false brother awakened an evil nature. And this power which was bestowed upon him, this power, this position which was given to him, this awakened, this gave rise to evil nature, wickedness in him. And my trust, like a good parent, did beget of him a falsehood. So, and what happened? Like a good parents are supposed to trust their children. So, like a good parent, I trusted my brother, I trusted my younger brother. I had full faith on my younger brother. But what was the consequence of it? What was the result of it? That it beget of him a falsehood. So, in return, what I got? Treachery from him. In return, what I got? Wickedness from him. Right? He betrayed me. He betrayed my trust. In its contrary, as great as my trust. The more I trusted him, the more wicked he became. My limitless trust on my brother gave rise to limitless treachery in him. So that is the meaning of in its contrary, as great as my trust was. So the greater my trust was, the greater treachery was awakened inside him, which had indeed no limit. So it was limitless. See, if a brother tries to kill his own brother, that is like limitless treachery. You cannot go beyond this. You cannot be more wicked than killing your own blood. A confidence sans bounds. He being thus lauded. So what happened? Here confidence means ambition. His ambition became boundless, had no bounds. no limits. He became over ambitious. He being thus lauded, not only with what my revenue yielded, but what my power might else exact. So what happened? As a result, that he was, as a result of him acting as the Lord, because he was the substitute, he was the functioning as a Duke of Milan. So what happened? He not only used the revenue of the state, but what my power might else exact. What else he did? He went a step further and he used Prospero's name to exact what all he could. He used Prospero's authority, the authority of a duke, to extract whatever he can. Who, having into truth by telling of it, made such a sinner of his memory to credit his own life. So what happened? Now, because he was acting as a duke, he started believing himself to be the duke. He forgot that line, differentiating a duke, a real duke, and a substitute duke, right? Who, having into truth by telling of, because continuously he was thinking of becoming a duke. See, if you go on thinking a particular thing, then what happens after some time? You start believing it. This is what happened to Antonio. Because he was continuously thinking of himself to be the duke, he started believing himself to be the real duke and more worthy than Prospero. Thought that Prospero is a worthless creature. He is not even fit to be the duke because I am taking care of the state, I am taking care of Milan and in a better way than him. So I am the real duke. When people were treating him as a duke, he started believing himself to be the duke. Made such a sinner of his memory to credit his own life. So he started to credit his own lie means he started believing his own lie. And what was the lie? Lie that he is the Duke of Milan. This was a lie. This was not the truth. This was not the reality. But because he was continuously thinking about it, he started believing it. He started giving credit to his own lie. He did believe he was indeed the Duke. So started believing this fact that he is indeed the Duke. He is the real Duke. Out of the substitution and executing the outward face of royalty. Though he was not the real Duke, he was just an outward face of royalty. He was just acting as a Duke. He was just the face of a Duke. The real Duke was Prospero. But because he was continuously acting as a Duke, he started believing himself to be the and executing the outward face of royalty with all prerogative, hence is his ambition growing. Just thou here. So he says prerogative means all the powers and the privileges, because he was continuously enjoying all the powers and the privileges of a duke. So hence his ambition growing. So what was the result of this? That his ambition grew further. Dost thou hear? And then Prospero asked Miranda, are you listening to what I am saying? Are you paying heed to what I am saying? Any who will read? Avisha, please read. Come here. Your tale, sir.
Avisha, you're not audible. No, you're still not audible.
Okay, then somebody else read. Aditi. Zubia wants to read. Zubia, you can read if you want.
Your tale, sir, would cure deafness. Prospero, I have no screen between this part he played and him he played it for. He needs will be absolute Milan. Me, more poor man, my library was dukedom large enough of temporal royalties. He thinks me now incapable, confederates, so dry he
Wait.
falls.
So what happened? Prospero asked Miranda, dost thou hear? Are you listening to what I'm telling you? Because this is something important and you need to know. Miranda says, your tail, sir, would cure deafness. Means your tail can cure the deafness. Right? Your tail is so pathetic, it has so much of emotion in it that it can even cure the deafness of a man who cannot hear. So actually she wants to say that she is very much attentive to the words of Prospero. To have no screen. Then Prospero moves ahead with his story. He moves further and he says, to have no screen between this part he played and him he played it for. For whom was he playing this part? What was the part he was playing?
To be a duke.
Yes, he was playing the part of a
Duke of Milan.
Yes, he was playing the part of the Duke of Milan. And for whom was he playing this part?
Prospero.
For Prospero. Okay, good. So he was playing this part for Prospero, for whom he played it for. So he was he forgot that line. That line with differentiated that screen. Screen here means the difference. He forgot the difference between the part he played and the person for whom he played this part. What the meaning is that he is trying to say that while acting as a duke, he started believing himself to be the duke. He needs will be absolute Milan. And what happened? He became ambitious. And now what did he needed? He wanted complete control over Milan. He wanted absolute Milan. He was tired of substituting a duke. Right? So now his desires grew, his ambition grew, and now he wanted to have full control over Milan. Means he wanted to become the real Duke of Milan. Me, poor man. My library was dukedom enough. And I completely oblivious of all these things. Prospero is talking about himself. And I completely unaware of what his intentions were or what he was trying to do. My library was dukedom large enough. And for me, what was the case? I considered my library to be the dukedom large enough. My entire dukedom was my library and my books of temporal royalties. Of temporal royalties, he thinks me now incapable. Temporal royalties means all these worldly kingdoms. Now my brother started thinking me to be incapable of managing the affairs of the state. He started thinking me as an incapable duke now, right? That is the meaning of all these earthly kingdoms and estates. He started thinking me to be incapable. Confederate, so dry he was for sway with the king of Naples. So what did he do? What did he do to fulfill his desire? He confederates. Confederates means he conspired. He allied with the king of Naples. So dry he was for sway. So dry means so thirsty. So thirsty he was for power. So thirsty he was to become the Duke of Milan. So thirsty he was for becoming the real Duke that he conspired. He shook hands with the king of Naples to give him, and this is important. Please mark this. With the king of Naples to give him annual tribute, do him homage, subject his crown, his coronet to his crown, and bend the dukedom, yet so unbowed, alas, poor Milan, to the most ignoble stooping. So, what did he do? This is what he did. Please mark these lines. He entered into a treaty with the king of Naples to give him annual tribute. So, these were the terms of the agreement. These were the terms of the conspiracy. He went to the king of Naples and told the king of Naples that he will give annual tribute. Annual tribute means every year he will give a certain sum of money which was decided between both of them to the king of Naples. Do him homage. So the first thing he agreed upon was to pay the annual tribute. These are the keywords. You will have to mention them whenever you write your answers, right? Annual tribute. The first thing that he will give a certain sum of money to the king of Naples. And then what else he agreed upon? Do him homage, subject his coronet to his crown. Coronet means a small crown. You must have come across this word in the horse and two goats, right? So then coronet means a small crown. So he agreed upon that Milan would be a subordinate estate to Naples. That Milan will come under Naples. And then the dukedom yet involved. So what happened? Till now, Milan was an independent state. It was not under the control of any other state. Right? It was not subordinate to any other kingdom. But my brother did such a disgusting thing that he brought Milan under Naples. Alas, poor Milan. So then Prospero says that I really feel sad for my dukedom, for my poor Milan. To most ignoble stooping, because this was the most humiliating, most dishonorable subordination. Most humiliating subordination. Because an independent state, just to fulfill the ambition of one single person, was brought under Naples. Miranda, oh the heavens. So Miranda is shocked to hear this, that his real uncle, his own uncle, did this. So she says, oh the heavens, oh my God, kind of an expression. Read, who was reading, I forgot. Who was reading?
Ma'am, I was reading.
Yes, please continue.
Ma'am, I was reading. Yes, ma'am. I should mark his condition and the event, then tell one. If this might be a brother, Miranda, I should sin to think but nobly of my grandmother. Ma'am, it's not clear.
Okay, fine.
Good worms have born bad sons.
Okay. So Prospero says that mark his condition and the event. Then tell me if this might be a brother. So Prospero says, listen to, pay attention to his condition, right? Whatever he did to Milan and the events which took place later on, what all he decided just to become the king of, just to become the Duke of Milan. He bent so low. Then tell me, then for yourself, Miranda, then you try to reason out yourself that whatever Antonio did, was it worthy of a brother? Does any brother act in this manner? You decide for yourself, right? Miranda, I should think but nobly of my grandmother. Good wounds have borne back. So Miranda says, it would be really a sin if I think that Antonio was not your real brother, that my grandmother was not a chaste and a pure lady. So I would conclude by saying that good wounds have borne bad sons. At times, good ladies, good women, good mothers, they produce bad children. Because I don't want to think anything bad about the character of my grandmother. I believe that she was a pure lady, and so I would better say that good mothers have given birth to bad sons. Prospero. Now the condition. So this again, this also is an important speech of Prospero. Now the condition, the king of Naples being an enemy. Now he gives some information about the king of enemies. King of Naples. Why king of Naples agreed to conspire with Antonio? Now the condition. So Prospero says, now please listen to the terms of the condition and the terms of the agreement and the contract between these two people, that is Antonio and King of Naples. The King of Naples being an enemy to me, inward trait. Hearkens, my brothers, because King of Naples was my enemy, right? To me, inward trait means he was a determined enemy. He was a sworn enemy, right? So Hearkens, my brothers. So what he did, he very attentively listened to my brother suit, right? He very attentively listened to my brother's proposal, the proposal with which my brother went to the King of Naples. He listened to it with a lot of attention, carefully. Which was, so what was the agreement? Which was that he, in lieu of the promises of homage, and I know not how much tribute. So Prospero says, though I am not very much aware of the exact amount of tribute, which that annual tribute, which Milan was supposed to pay to Naples. He says that in lieu of the premises of homage. So in terms with the conditions which were laid down for the homage, and I do not know how much tribute. And then what was the amount of the tribute which was agreed upon by both of them? Should presently extirpate me and mine out of the tutor. So it was decided that in return for all these things, in return for the annual tribute and the homage, which means that subordination thing, that Milan will become subordinate to Naples. In return for all these things, in return for these two things, what did the King of Naples agree to do? He agreed that he will extirpate me and mine out of the tutor. That he will destroy. Extirpate means he will destroy completely me, that is Prospero, and mine means whatever belongs to me. So who belonged to Prospero? Miranda. So King of Naples agreed that in return for these two things, he will end Prospero and Miranda. Mine is a reference to Miranda because Miranda belongs to Prospero out of the dukedom. So they were supposed to be thrown out of the dukedom and destroyed, and confer fair Milan with all the honors on my brother. And then the second thing which was agreed upon was that after throwing me out of Milan, he will make Antonio the Duke of Milan with all the honors. Whereon, and then as a result of this agreement, what happened? A treacherous army levied one midnight, fated on the purpose. So a treacherous army means disloyal to Prospero, right? Because they were, Prospero was the real duke. The army should have been loyal to him, but they were more loyal to Antonio. So that is why a treacherous army levied one midnight, fated to the purpose. So to fulfill their purpose, to fulfill their objective, the objective which was decided upon, the army one night approached Prospero. Did Antonio open the gates of Milan? And at midnight, the gates of Milan were opened. And in the dead of darkness, and in the darkness, what was done? The ministers for the purpose hurried thence me and thy crying self. So what did the ministers do? The ministers who were entrusted with the responsibility of throwing Prospero out of the kingdom, what did they do? They quickly hurried me and thy crying self. Thy crying self means Miranda, who was crying because she must have been woken in the middle of the night. So she was crying. So you were crying and I, both of us, were thrown out of Milan in that dark night by the army and the ministers who were given the responsibility of carrying out this task. I hope everything is clear till here. Any question you want to ask? Who will read? Mahima Tiwari, would you please read?
And lack for pity, I not remembering how I cried out then, will cry to or again.
It
It
would
is a hit
continue
that rings mine eyes to. Yes,
to
ma'am.
it. Okay.
To
So Miranda says after
from-
listening to this, wait, please wait. After listening to this, Miranda says that Allah for pity. So Miranda says that it is really something very sad, right? It is really something very pitiful. So she feels very sad and sorrowful. So she says, how pitiful is your story? How sad is your story? I not remembering how I cried out. And because I don't remember, because I was too young at that time, so I don't know how I must have cried at that time. But while listening to everything again, because now I am reliving that moment, which happened 12 years ago. So because now I am listening to everything again, will cry it over again. So now I'll cry again. I'm on the verge of crying again. It's a hint that rings my eyes to it because I have an urge to cry after listening to your story. There is something when you want to cry, you have a kind of itchy sensation on your inside your eye. So that is what she says. That your story is bringing tears to my eyes at this moment. So I'm going to try all over again after listening to your story. What does this tell about Miranda? What does this tell about Miranda? Anyone? Harshdeep?
And she was kind-hearted and had a gentle soul. And
Yes.
she was very emotional also.
Very emotional, sensitive, kind-hearted, having a very soft heart. These are the things which we come to know about Miranda from these lines. Prospero, here a little further, and then I'll bring thee to the present business, which now is upon us, without the which this story were most imperfect. So he says that please listen to me further. I know you are very attentive till now. You have been very attentive till now. Please listen. There is something more which you need to listen as far as this story is concerned. And after that, we'll come to the present business. Means what I am doing to deal with everything at the present moment, which now is upon, right? Present moment. He is trying to relate his story to the shipwreck, right? Because he has to justify it to his daughter. He doesn't want Miranda to think of her father as a cruel man. So he is. That is why he narrated this story. So Prospero says that listen to me a little more. There is something more which you need to know, and after that, I will come to the present business. That is the matter which I am dealing with now at the present moment. Which now is upon. Which now is upon means which I am dealing with, without the which this story were most impertinent, without which this story would be most irrelevant. This story would not make any sense if I won't relate it to the present business, that is the present state of affairs. So he moves further. He says, read, please read.
Miranda, wherefore did they not that are destroyers? Prospero, well demanded, friends. My tale provokes that question. Dear, they does not. So dear, the love my people bore me, nor set a mark so bloody in the business, but with colors fair painted their fools, and in few they hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some weeks to see where they prepared a rotten
Wait.
carcass,
Carcass of a butt, not rigged.
carcass,
Carcass of a
not not carcass of a bird, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor mast. The very rats
Instinctively.
instinctively they quite it. They there they host us to cry to the sea that roared to us, to sign to the winds whose pity signing back again did us but loving wrong.
Wait. Okay. So now Miranda asks a question. I told you that Miranda will also raise a similar question. Wherefore did they not that are destroyers? Now Miranda wants to know that why didn't they kill us? Now Antonio and King of Naples at that moment were very powerful, and you were in a very vulnerable situation. You could have been easily murdered by both of them. They could have, instead of planning to throw you into the sea, they could have very easily killed you. That would have been something easier for them. So Prospero replies, well demanded wench. So young girl, you asked a very good question. This was a good question. My tale provokes that question. The story which I narrated to you invites this question. Right? This is a very justified and very logical question to this story. Dear, they durst not. So Prospero says, they didn't dare to murder us. And the reason I already told you. So dear, the love my people bore me. So my people, they loved me dearly. My subjects, they loved me dearly. So they would have not taken my murder in a positive manner, and they might have revolted against Antonio. So dear, the love my people bore me, my people had for me, nor set a bloody mark, nor set a mark so bloody on the business. And then the first reason was because the people loved him, the subjects of Prospero, they loved him. This was the first thing, nor set a mark so bloody on the business. And they didn't want this whole affair to seem bloody, right? They didn't want this plot to look a bloody act, but with colors fairer painted their foul. So that is what they did. They painted this foul act, this treacherous act with fairer colors. They tried their level best to that everything should seem natural. So their foul ends, their wicked designs, their wicked plot was painted with fairer colors, was made to appear normal and natural. In few, they hurried us aboard a bark, bore us some leagues to the sea. So what did they do? They, in few means in few words. In short, in brief, I will tell you what did they do. They hurried us aboard a bark. A bark here means a boat. So they quickly took us in a boat. In midnight, in the darkness of the night, they forced us on a boat, to sit on a boat, and then they bore us some leagues to sea. Bore us some leagues to sea means they took us to some distance in the sea, where they prepared a rotten carcass of a butt. Where they prepared a rotten carcass of a butt means that they made an old boat, a boat which was devoid of all the necessities, a boat which was in a very bad, poor condition. A carcass means a dead body, right? So a boat which was good for nothing, which was completely useless, not rigged, nor tackle, sail, nor mast. So these equipment, which are essential for a boat to move on water, right? These essential equipments were missing. There was no tackle on the boat was not rigged, and then the mast was missing, the sail was missing. It means there was nothing on this boat. It was just a wooden boat kind of a thing. So then the very rats instinctively have quit. So the condition of the boat was so poor that rats, using their instincts, they have also left the boat. It is believed that whenever there is a danger, whenever the ship is about to sink, the rats are the first ones to quit it. So that is what Prospero is trying to say, that the rats also instinctively they have left the boat. Means the condition of the boat was so poor, so pathetic. There they hoist us. There they hoist us means they launched us into that boat. They made us sit on such a boat to cry to the sea that rode to us. And so that we were crying to the sea that rode to us. That rode to us means that night was also a stormy night. It was a tempest. There was a tempest on that night. Right? The sea was roaring at us, and we were crying to the sea, to sigh to the winds. The wind was making sighing sound, and we were also sighing to the wind, whose pity sang back again. So the wind tried to show the sound, because the wind was blowing. It was a stormy night. So the sound which was being produced by the wind, it seemed to Prospero that the wind was also sighing. The wind is also sad. Did us but loving wrong. Did us but loving wrong means, what is the meaning of loving wrong? That though this sea, the sea roaring at us and the wind, they understood our pain. Prospero means to say that though they were trying to understand our pain, the sea was also roaring, the wind was also sighing on seeing our pain. But what did they do? They did us loving wrong. And though they loved us, but they tried to wrong us. Why? Because the intention of the waves of the sea and the wind was to drown that boat. The boat which was devoid of all the essential equipments, and the boat which was in a really bad condition. So though they, out of love, they were expressing sorrow, they tried to sympathize with us, but still they did loving wrong. Means their intention was to sink our boat, to drown us into the sea. So that is the meaning of loving wrong. I think we should stop till here. We should stop here, and we'll continue from here on the next one. Any problem?